All right, hello everybody. January 30th. Thank you for coming back. We got an exciting couple days ahead. State of the Union address today. We've got some FBI news, some new Qs, so a few things we're going to go over. But first, before we do that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who've been helping me on Patreon. I'm building out my Patreon a little more so, and I want to appreciate all you guys who've been supporting me in doing this. You know, whether you sign up for $1 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can and willing to do, I absolutely appreciate it. You'll get access to some exclusive weekly Q&As, basically daily newsletters, daily briefings that I do on here while my website gets built out, and some other things. This is actually the easiest way to get a hold of me is through Patreon. I respond to every single Patreon message. So thank you all. And now let's go into some of the new stuff. So of course, FBI Director, or excuse me, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe was removed. Apparently, the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, was shocked to his core when he read the FISA memo on Sunday night and then immediately on Monday fired Andrew McCabe, or removed him. And I'm showing zero hedge for this article because it was very difficult to get the proper perspectives when you're going through the mainstream pieces on it, because I was watching CNN, Politico, CBS. You know, they were all saying that Andrew McCabe stepped down, right? But then on Fox News and through some other outlets that I'm looking at as being a little more truthful, they were saying he was removed. So it was difficult to get the proper perception on it. That's why I'm on zero hedge here, because they're more honest than the rest. And of course, you know, Andrew McCabe stepping down. Not only that, but we have the House Intel Committee voting to make that shocking FISA memo public. So Andrew McCabe dipped out because he knew this was coming public. And so it's very good news. And of course, with Trump's State of the Union address being tonight, I am wondering what he's going to say. And I'm wondering when this memo is going to be officially released for all of us to read. And in news, in addition to Andrew McCabe stepping down or being removed, Adam Schiff, funny enough, was the one who announced that there has been another investigation, more investigations opened into the FBI and the Department of Justice. And Adam Schiff was the one to announce that. He looked very scared when he was doing it, very unhappy. And everybody's running. It's scattering the rats. If you've seen Nancy Pelosi, I was watching a little piece of her on CNN, and she was not happy. She was angry. So this is very good news that this is all happening. Yes, Schiff is a crook, absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Release the memo and release the memes. Great stuff. Anyway, moving on to True Pundit here. So after Andrew McCabe is now stepped down or removed, it looks like next in line for this administration is Rod Rosenstein, and True Pundit reporting that an FBI official is telling them that Rod Rosenstein will be fired after this memo is released because he used the bogus Trump dossier for that FISA warrant. And this now brings me into some of the brand new Q posts. So we'll discuss those in a second here, but I want to note post, well, 555 on this website, but this post from January 18th, timing is everything, State of the Union, Q mentioned, about 12 days ago now. So again, I'm interested to see what that State of the Union address is really going to be tonight. Wouldn't it be classic if Trump went up there and just read that memo, pulled it out? And now let's talk about a few of these new Q posts. So this one here mentions RR, which I'm gathering is Rod Rosenstein, and it's saying narrative shift, nation on alert. Firing RR equals block Mueller, set up to firing Mueller. Firing RR equals red line. I wonder if that's the red line that the deep state has. You know, if Trump were to cross that, then we would be expecting some serious false flags or some serious backlash from that. But I'm interested to see what's going to come out by way of Rod Rosenstein. And right here it's saying, why did RR begged Ryan to block the FISA memo. Well, of course, because it directly implicates him. So he used that bogus dossier for the warrant. And then real time here. So according to this line, it looked like there were 7 congressional members, 3 senators, 2 former Obama bureaucrats, and 4 outside contractors that were currently in a SCIF meeting in Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill, in one of these secure facilities that they use for their meetings so nobody outside can hear them. And somehow, some of those outside contractors, according to this, had no top secret security clearance to be in there. But that top secret clearance is mandatory for admission, so how is this possible? And this line here is just a shot to the message to the black hats. We see you. They can't hide. They can't, if this Q collective, if this group has access to the intel and to the white hats deep in the military, they have access to some technologies where these black hats can't hide, or deep state can't hide. So there's that. We have this American flag being posted, and then this JC tweet translation. So JC is James Comey. Let's read that tweet right here real quick. And after Andrew McCabe was fired, James Comey here said, Special Agent Andrew McCabe, funny enough, referring to him as a special agent, not even saying deputy director. Special Agent Andrew McCabe stood tall for the last 8 months when small people were trying to tear down an institution we all depend on. He served with distinction for 2 decades. I wish Andy well. I also wish continued strength for the rest of the FBI. America needs you. Now, Q posted the tweet translation, which to me is hilarious. He said, Special Agent Andrew McCabe stood tall over the last 8 months, a.k.a. do not talk, when small people, a.k.a. sheep, are trying to tear down an institution we all depend on. Cover. He served with distinction for 2 decades. We own you and your family. I wish Andy well. 187. Murder, assassination, wet works. I also wish continued strength for the rest of the FBI. General threat to the rest of them. And America needs you. Activate sleeper cells. So basically decoding this being some veined message thrown out there saying, sorry, I'm getting distracted by some of these messages here. I just want to read for a sec. Huh, interesting. Thank you for letting me know. Some weird things going on with my notifications and people trying to follow me live. Not necessarily surprised. Thanks, my friend. And then next, let's talk about Apache. So this is cryptic. Not many people are really gathering what this is. The best reference I've seen to this Apache word being thrown out, 2222, is this article right here. I saw it posted on, I believe, Anti-School's Twitter page. Shout out to Anti-School. But somebody posted this, and it was an article from January 22nd this year, so not too long ago, about a little over a week ago. And it was how these 2 people, these 2 Army soldiers, crashed and were killed in a Apache going down. And this was in, let's see here, California. Where was it? It was Fort Irwin, California, at the National Training Center. So, there's the cause of the crash remains under investigation. We don't know the surrounding circumstances as to this, but I'm wondering if, excuse me here, this Q post was in reference to that. But moving on to the last few things I want to share with you guys. So back to talking about the FBI a little bit more. Sarah Carter, that fantastic reporter she is, saying the insiders are telling her more FBI resignations are coming. Wonder if one of those is going to be Rod Rosenstein. But that'd be very good news because, of course, we need a cleansing. We need a serious cleansing of the FBI and the Department of Justice. And also on True Pundit reporting here that McCabe threatened to torch the FBI after his forced resignation. FBI insider poised to spill all the beans. So there's a lot of people, a lot of rank and file in the FBI that are very upset in what their superiors are doing. Now that some of their superiors are leaving, I'm sure many more of them will be able to come forward and help with the investigations, help, like it says here, spill the beans and assist in getting that cleansing process moving forward, which is great news. Now moving on, let's talk about the Super Bowl. So this is something that I've reported on for a few months here when I first found out, and that was that the Super Bowl security contractor in Minneapolis this year is the same company that the Orlando shooter used to work for, the large G4S company. So a few months ago when that was first reported, because there was originally a different contractor, and then that contractor was replaced by this G4S company. So I said a couple months ago, all eyes on the Super Bowl, right? Because it's very, very suspicious for that company to somehow now land a job at the Super Bowl. So I was warning of a false flag, of course. But good news is that the National Guard was activated for security, and an additional 10,000 volunteers, it looks like, for security during the Super Bowl events. So that's good news. I'm sure that the White Hats are trying to stop something happening at the Super Bowl. And I wanted to just shed light on that. And now a couple of Newsweek articles that I want to really talk some shit about, to be honest. So this article I found in Newsweek just yesterday. The headline states, parents are making their children drink bleach to cure them of autism. Now, this article is about something called MMS, or chlorine dioxide. If you're not familiar with MMS, I'm going to plug one of my own videos here really quickly. Actually, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. YouTube, MMS. I did a video on this right when I first started my channel, within the first couple months, and yeah, right here, neat. It's up on Google, and somehow it went pretty viral. It's gotten about 150,000 views, and I was just in a room one day and just decided to talk about MMS because I had it on me. And what MMS is that it is a mineral. It's a mineral that you can use to not only disinfect your environment, it's actually listed by the EPA as a safe disinfectant for restaurants and hospitals, but you can also cleanse and purify yourself internally, right? So MMS has always been suppressed by the FDA. It's always been, ridiculed by the pharmaceutical industrial complex. People have been thrown in jail over it. Other people have to go outside of the US to even buy it. And there's all kinds of propaganda around MMS. And this Newsweek article is yet more propaganda. MMS, you want to be careful with it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to use, but it is not a Clorox bleach. This is literal disinformation to the max, to the core right here, of them saying it's Clorox bleach. And it's not so. It's completely different. It's chlorine dioxide. They're saying it chloride dioxide, so that's misinformation right there too. So this is just a very bad article, and I invite you guys to check into MMS. I'll link this video down below I did on it, and a few other articles that I think are useful, because it's very cheap stuff and it can do great things for you, again, if you know how to use it. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing when you're doing it. Another Newsweek article here talking about how the lunar eclipse, we're kind of changing directions here, but the lunar eclipse helping the search for alien life. So Newsweek, being the corporate propaganda they are, still trying to seed our consciousness, still trying to keep us thinking about that alien issue, of course, in case they're trying to pull any kind of false flag with everything else going on in politics right now. Last couple things I want to share with you guys. This Fox News article saying tractor beam levitates large orbs with sound. So that's a little bit of interesting science that they're letting seep out into the mainstream. And sound is very interesting. You can do some amazing things with sound, and things have been done for a long time. With sound waves, you can not only heal yourself, You know, you can pulverize various pathogens and microbes inside you. You can harmonize your DNA, do amazing things to your body and your mind with sound waves, but you can also do things with matter. You can make things levitate and dematerialize and do different things like that. And this has been done for decades and decades. They're doing some amazing things in the black projects, just we aren't, that are classified, top secret. They don't let us know about, but quite interesting. They're letting some science seep out into the mass consciousness here. And then very last article I'm going to share with you is this by way of futurism, coming out yesterday, talking about the Earth's magnetic poles switching. This one surprised me when I saw it. Not something that I would expect to be in a mainstream science outlet, but they're discussing in this article Earth's magnetic field is pretty adept at flipping polarity, and they're saying it's done it a lot, and we're long overdue for a pole reversal. And down here it's describing how if the poles were to reverse, it would cause some damage on our infrastructure, on our electrical systems. So the best thing they're saying we can do right now is to prepare so we're ready for the next time it happens. And what's the best way to prepare for a magnetic pole shift? Well, redoing our infrastructure. If we were to do away with our very flimsy electrical grid we have now, still running on what, electrical wires and coal and oil and all this nonsense, you know, we could have done away with all of that decades ago. We could have devices, each one of us in our hands, that we could go completely off grid with, and that would create essentially unlimited energy for all of us. And we would be able to revolutionize our infrastructure. And a pole flip may not affect us as such if we had that infrastructure. Not only that, we could completely get our dependence off of fossil fuels and revolutionize our world. So, you know, some thoughts to think about for our planet and how to make it a little better. But futurism here reporting on those magnetic poles shifting. Not only are we expecting those, too, we're expecting a lot of stuff coming out of our sun. Solar flares, solar flashes. We're expecting, galactic superwaves and things like that. So anyway, a lot more research you can do from there. So thank you for joining me on this one, guys. Appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, depending on what happens with that State of the Union address, what happens today. I'm thinking it's going to be a big one, so I'll be watching it a little later, and be coming back with some other articles or other videos this week as well, some whiteboard videos and other things of the like. So anyway, take care, everybody. Thank you. Peace out.